All right, so it's the What Happened to Music podcast. We're going to talk about composing, arranging, and what you should be paying for it.
So I wanted to do this topic because I've had people approach me over the past year and a half about doing some arranging work for their group. Usually we want a horn section with this band. Can you do that? So just out of curiosity and also out of people asking me, I went online to look up different going rates for different types of composing and arranging work. And even talking to people we know who pride themselves on specializing in that. Like, what do you charge? What about these specific situations? And it's all very, very subjective. It's really the situation. But we do have some ways that websites advocating for the job would suggest. So some ways that they have suggested are a percentage of a large project budget. So we're talking like an independent film, an independent album, things like that.
So if I have a independent film that I'm doing for $50,000,
say I would want maybe like 5%, 10%
Gotcha.
of your budget, depending on where your focus is in that project. Another one would be hourly rate. You would tell me what you want. Like, for example, I would want a big band chart, standard instrumentation. I just want a song. And I would say, okay, that's going to take me approximately this many hours. This is what I'm going to charge you by the hour. And then I might even go in and say, this is what I do the whole process, so you understand this amount of time I'm giving you. Needless to say, a lot of people really who have not done this kind of stuff or have even dabbled in it at all, it takes a long time to make something good. You have the rare person who can just write something out and it's fantastic the first time. It takes a long time to really like fine tune it. Like, this is good. Oh no, the instrumentation changed. I need to change the actual parts now because of the instruments.
well, also just the, I think we've read enough, just either student charts or just, charts someone made where the engraving is off.
Right.
Where all of a sudden it's like, all of a sudden my chord chart will be on like dynamic markings and, just wasn't set up. So even that alone, where once you have all the music down in Finale or Sibelius, just getting where the spacing looks correct.
I've honestly spent like an hour after I'm actually done with a project, just like making all the pages look as nice as possible.
Yeah. And there's a big difference between like, oh, this is legible versus looks like a professionally spaced, professionally done thing.
And we'll comment on professional in a sec, but the last thing I found a suggestion was to charge by flat rate per minute of music, or by number of instruments, or by number of measures. So I for example, one example I found was filminggamecomposers.com suggested if you're writing film or video game music to do 1 to 5 minutes, charge $300. And that's like the amount of time that the finished product will take, not accounting for anything else that's going on in the process. So really, for me, I think it's a question of, do you want a professionally done arrangement for your project? Most of the time, no. Just like, if you have your band that you play with, or if it's a cover band or whatever, you could probably just get by, guitar, bass, drums, maybe one horn, a singer. You're probably fine.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The larger your group gets, the more you need.
The more you need to organize what's happening. Yep. So, like, for example, a band I'm working with right now, it's just 2 horn players, but they want to be coordinated. Yeah. And they feel way more comfortable having somebody else go in and say, this is what we're doing. Yeah. So it's really, do you need the professionally done? And if you do, it's about respecting professionals, because, we as musicians, we know what it's like to have our work undervalued. Yeah. But then it's not fair if I'm complaining about a venue not paying me enough, and then I go and expect a composer, arranger, like, I'm this great musician and you should write me a song and it's going to be great for you.
For the exposure.
And here's your recording of me playing it.
We will tell everyone that you did our charts. It is funny when musicians will do the same exact thing that often we'll complain about, which is the playing for free and exposure, and then you do that to other people.
Yeah.
to other musicians.
It's about, respecting other professionals, and that goes outside of music. Like, if somebody does something for you, you need to be willing to compensate them. Do you have a multi-million-dollar budget? Probably not.
Yeah.
But then really it's negotiation most of the time with how much people charge. So like I would charge you way less because I'm not a big name. If you're asking me, you probably know me.
Yeah.
And for me, it's really more along the lines of I like to do it. It's time that I could be spending practicing my instrument, which I find more fun for myself, and I've had more opportunities to do. But you're essentially just paying me like, okay, I'm going to dedicate my time to this, and then you can trust me to go in and make sure it's good.
Yeah. So I guess if you're a composer, if you want to comment or arranger, comment below on how you do your rates, because I feel like there's not even one standard.
I mean,
way
everybody
of doing
I talk to was different.